From Sally to Cali,
It's time
to wake up.
Wake up! Wake up!
Warchant.com is your ultimate Seminole sports source.
And this is Wake Up Warchant, presented by Corner Pocket Bar and Grill.
One ball, corner pocket.
Now here's Warchant.com's Aslan Hajavandi
And Corey Clark.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome on into this live edition of Wake Up Warchant, presented by our good friends over at the Luna Coffee, as well as our presenting sponsor, Corner Pocket Bar and Grill. CPTallybar.com is the website. You can always pull out your phone, hit that QR code with your camera app, and that's much more cool. Hit the thumbs up if you're watching us. Maybe a little bit late. Maybe we'll go a little bit late, so don't hold that against us, or you can wait for us to earn it. In the meantime, though, you should subscribe to the website, warchant.com. It's only $1 for an entire year. I don't know how much longer it's going to run for. But there's 9,000 of you that are like, that sounds good. Should be more. There's going to be like, I don't know, 68,345 people in the stadium on Saturday. Corey, and I think only 9,000 want to be part of this. Kind of hurts my feelings a little bit.
I feel like they don't know. They need to, like, you guys know. So you need to tell your other friends that are Florida State fans what's going on and why they need to do this. Because it's the best deal. It's the best. You can't buy anything better for $1. You just can't. Nowhere on earth is there something this valuable that's offered for just $1 for the entire year.
All right. Well said, Corey. Again, thumbs up if you could. We're trying a little bit of a new thing here tonight. It's going to be part of the post-game show that's going to go down with Gene Williams and Tom Lang after every Florida State football game this season, which is also going to be great. Warchant Game Day presented by Zaxby's. This Saturday, pregame show starts at 2 o'clock, goes from 2 to 4. Then a watch-through party, 5 o'clock, with Dominic Robinson watching live with you on YouTube, giving you live analysis and commentary. And then Tom and I splitting duties on that, and then a post-game show. But you guys call in during the post-game show and talk about how happy you are when Florida State wins and how miserable you are when they lose, which is fine. I would do the same thing. But we're trying this little different green room function here. So I think in the comments section next to Corey's mug, you should probably see a link, hopefully, that says, click here if you want to join the show. And you can call in, but not call in from a telephone per se. But we got a whole gang of people behind the scenes to bring you into the program. So just know that we're here for you. If you want to get involved and not just throw doll hairs our way like this guy, 904 Noel, you can quote unquote call in, but we'll get it started with a little bit of this, Corey. Oh, it didn't play. That hurts my feelings. Let's go one more time. There it is. A little more juice on it today. 904 Noel, can't wait to see you both in NOLA. Let's go Noles. Likewise.
Introduce yourself as 904 Noel, though.
Yes.
When you meet it. Where's 904? Where's the, and thank you, by the way. It's very kind. Where's the 904, Aslan? Do you know that off the top of your head?
Duval.
Oh, I should have known that.
Yeah.
Wow,
Should have.
That was like 229 or something. That's the 904, huh? I'm an
Evan
idiot. Sorry,
Stewart,
everyone.
Didn't get the memo that it's football season, but the Braves cut to 1.5 games back. I'm sure you realize.
I tell you what, I have two friends, Jeff Cameron, obviously, and then Tim Linnefeld, who are big Pirates fans. And holy moly, is that team just dreadful. That's a bad. I mean, we knew that anyway, but seeing it up close for 3 days, man, that is an awful baseball team. So it was good to beat the Pirates, but now it gets real. They got to play the Cardinals.
Rob Krause, man, going for the kill shot. Duquesne will not have seen a slaughter like Saturday since 1758. I don't know exactly the significance.
I was going to say, Rob, you're talking to two guys that aren't great at history. I'm sure that's very funny, but we don't get it. We don't get the reference to 1758 in Duquesne. Aslan's going to look it up.
The Battle of Fort Duquesne, September 14th, 1758. British assault on the eponymous, that's not the way you pronounce it, but the French fort was called Fort Duquesne.
Oh.
It was repulsed with heavy losses during the French and Indian War.
There you go. Thanks, Rob. Adding a little culture to a football show. We appreciate that.
I'll be on the lookout later this week as well. The Warchant report will be dropping with Irish O'Fell, Corey Clark, and myself talking about this Duquesne game week 1. Corey, I mean, we're here. We finally made it.
We did.
Lots of excitement. I'm trying to temper my enthusiasm because you know me. Some people like putting salt on the rim of their margarita glasses. Some people like to put sugar. I like putting salt. I almost want to get carried away. I'm starting to look at the schedule in my mind, and I'm like, man, there's like 4 tricky games. They're not going to lose all of them. It's like they split those. I mean, I don't know. It's like 10 wins then in the regular season, but I'm not at 10 wins. But I'm kind of creeping closer to 8, kind of 9. I don't know. Where are you at right now as we inch closer to the kickoff?
I'm where I've been. I'm hovering between 7 and 8. I just think, we've watched this team for a month. I think it is a better football team. I don't think I'm genuinely confident. I know it's a better football team than it was last year. The schedule's harder, in my opinion, especially with hindsight, knowing what Clemson ended up being last year. That was a winnable game. Florida fired its coaching staff. You played BC with a quarterback that had just come back from an injury. It was just last year's schedule, wasn't as hard as this one, I don't think. There's just more landmines in it. And so I think the team will be better, but that might not be reflected by a huge jump in wins. I think there will be a jump in wins. I see it two wins or 3 wins, maybe not 5. They're not going to double their win total. I don't think they've got good players. They don't have a ton of elite players.
Yeah, but we didn't feel good about Notre Dame last year. I think the LSU game, I don't know, maybe on the same path with it, I would think. But Clemson's at home, and we now know that Clemson is not nearly as invincible as we once thought they were. I know Miami's on the road, but Florida's at home.
Yeah.
Wake Forest at home. I mean, NC State's on the road. Like, what really is the difference then? I
think at Miami, at NC State, you lost those anyway. At Louisville, man, you haven't beaten Louisville in a good long while. And that, there aren't. You don't look at the schedule and be like automatic dub. There just aren't a lot of those. It's like we've said, it's about. I feel like it's a 7-point game, one way or the other. Almost all of them. Maybe a blowout Georgia Tech in a conference game, maybe. But this team hasn't blown out a lot of conference teams here lately. So I just feel like you're going to play a lot of close games, and you hope you win more than you lose.
Would a Nick O'Leary, Philip Morris asks, but not the tobacco magnet.
We don't know that, do we? That could be him.
So it doesn't look like him. Corey, what a name!
What a name to have, Philip Morris, man! Congratulations. That opens some doors, I bet.
Would a Nick O'Leary make you feel better about 8 wins?
Yes. Nick O'Leary was great, man. He was a very, very good college football player. You kind of forget that, but that 2014 season, that dude, 13, he was good too, but they had all those other high-flying receivers. And 14, man, he was a pillar. Talk about pillars. That dude was a pillar of that offense. He was really good. And I watched him live from my seat in the Rose Bowl twist his ankle in pregame warmups. And I'm like, well, that's not good. And he did not do much in that game.
Yeah, we forget about that. The fumbles concealed a lot of the other things that went wrong for us that day. Bob Trapnell, the game is 5:00. It's on ACC Network. So there you go.
Yeah. It's 2 p.m. Pacific time, but yeah, it's 5 p.m. Eastern time.
Yeah. Muscle Fitness. I guess, now that we got Corey here, we're attracting a whole new demographic. What's up, guys? I heard Steven Dix is out for the season. True. Confirmed.
Yep.
Do we have good depth at the linebacker spot?
Look, they play 2 at a time mostly. Didn't Fuller say that last year they only played like 50-something snaps with 3 linebackers on the field? I think it was a number like that.
Sounds
so you need the way they play defense, they need 2 linebackers on the field at a time. I think they have 6. They have 4 guys that have played a lot, and then the 2 behind them are who's the freshman? Omar Graham, right?
Correct.
Is that his name?
Yeah.
And then Brennan Gant are the other 2 linebackers. So they got 6, which isn't a ton at all. Like they have 6, I would say, guys that they play a lot, but that practice a lot. But that's 3 teams: the first team, a second team, a third team. So when you're only playing 2, 6 should be okay. But yeah, you're pretty thin there, I guess you'd say. But I will say this, and I'm not trying to kill the kid. I think he's a good Nole. He's got he could be a professional wrestler one day with that body that he has. Steven Dix is just otherworldly with what he does in the weight room. But I wasn't planning on him, and I don't think you were either, Aslan, to be a big impact player for this defense in 2022, right? Like he was an emergency player, I feel like.
I wouldn't say emergency, but he was the depth. The top line guys are fine. Kalen, as long as Kalen DeLoach and Tatum Bethune are all right, and DJ Lundy, I think those are your top 3 linebackers. When again, to Corey's point, Adam Fuller talking about not putting 3 linebackers on the field a lot. I don't know how important a 4th linebacker is. Hate it for the kid. Definitely wish he was available, but I'm not. Nothing has changed on my end about what this team can be because of that. So, and there's not a lot of players on this team that would. So it's not really a knock against Steven Dix. You'd have to be a real big hot shot to miss the season and let me think that it's going to really affect things large. Nick Carden, glad to join the gang. First time engaging, but long-term fan. Are you a subscriber, Nick? Because it only costs $1, man.
I think that's what he's saying, like glad to join the gang. I hope that's what you mean, Nick. But if not, throw $1. Just throw $1 in there and you're really part of the gang.
I think it means this is his first time posting here.
Oh,
All right,
okay.
your thoughts. We have this one season to play from the underdog position. Is that a real thing?
I mean, as far as them being an underdog, yeah, that'll be a real thing in about half the games they play, I think. But again, the underdog is I can't imagine, unless they have some real struggles, that they're ever going to be more than a 10-point underdog. They just won't be. I think they're going to be good enough, and these games are going to be close enough that they're not going to be like 20-point underdogs anymore. But they're kind of lying in the weeds. Like Florida, and they deservedly so. Florida State doesn't deserve the benefit of the doubt after these last 5 years. People don't think they're very good. They haven't had a winning season since 2017, and they were 7-6. So yeah, they've earned this underdog role. Now they got to be they got to go earn the respect of the country again, because they don't have it right now.
Hey, let go, cuz. Let's go. Come on, James B. It's game week. Let's go. What?
Dollar bills, y'all.
Jimmy B in the house.
That's right. 300 American. James, thank you. I don't know if I'll see you on Friday or if I'll see you next Friday or maybe next Saturday it is. Our own Tom Lang hammering out details on a meet and greet in New Orleans, which I know you'll be there because it's kind of your backyard, Pensacola. He says he's so excited, Corey, for the start of the season with an exclamation mark and $300 on top of it. So I believe him. This is the best I have felt about FSU going to a season in 6 years. I think we will be a good football team, and if some bounces go our way, who knows what can be accomplished. Well, if some bounces go our way, then I will say 9 wins. Some bounces, though, they need to go our way and not the opponent. Corey.
And when we talk bounces, how about like the 16 season? That team ended up winning. It had a nice end of the season because it beat Florida and they got to play Michigan and beat Michigan, although they didn't have Jabril Peppers. Keep that in mind, everyone. Now, Florida State didn't have Derwin James either, but that's neither here nor there. Michigan didn't have Jabril Peppers, but they don't make that game. And that season is an enormous disappointment in my mind if the NC State safety catches the interception in the end zone. Like he just drops the ball, hits him right in the chest with a couple minutes left, maybe 3 minutes left. He drops it. They score 2 plays later to take the lead and win the game. If that doesn't happen, then you lost to NC State again. And then that's a 4-loss season? Like that was those, because they lost to Clemson, North Carolina, and Louisville. So yeah, that would have been their 4th loss after being top 5 in the country. But they got a great break. They got a great bounce. Sometimes that happens. Jordan Travis might throw a horrible pass. They could lose the game. Maybe the safety drops it and all of a sudden you feel great about it. That's the line you're playing in. That's the thin margin you have. James B., you're awesome, man. Can't wait to see you whenever that is, like Aslan said. Hopefully it's this Friday, but if not, it's definitely next week. We already got stuff in the works. And also, speaking of Pensacola, where our man James B. is from, how about former Warchant staff member? I know we'll get to that in a second. We'll get to DeLune in a second. But the former Warchant staff member DC Reeves is now the mayor.
Is he? He won
the mayorship of Pensacola. He starts on November 22nd. He won in a landslide. He got like half the votes. And there were 3 people running. So yeah, DC Reeves, former Warchant member. I was friends with the guy when he lived here. He's a good guy. And now he's the mayor of Pensacola, Florida. So that's kind of cool.
A reminder, you see at the bottom of your screen, everybody, you can get involved in the show by not just commenting. You can actually click on a link that will take you into our green room where you'll then be able to kind of speak your mind. Literally, you'll be able to talk to Corey and I live here on the show. We're kind of in a beta stage here to make sure that's good to go for Saturday's post-game show. So come on and be the brave soul. Gator Kirk, I know you're probably out there somewhere. Go ahead, click that link. It's pinned on the thread next to Corey's dome, I think. Click on it. Get involved. Redbeard40 asks, do you guys think our depth chart will look different for the LSU game, i.e. players like Trey Benson and Jared Verse will not have oars? They'll be in the number 1 position.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't get too caught up in what they do with the depth chart because I think it tends not to matter. Like it's just kind of on paper there on these Mondays, but it's not something you hold them to. I think Jared Verts will play a lot, quite a bit, and so will Trey Benson.
Yeah, I don't think that depth chart really doesn't change unless somebody gets hurt. Once it kind of first week it gets printed out there. Shout out to our guy Mike here who says, "Wake up, fellas! I'm still welding pipe, but I'm listening to y'all make the rest of my day better." Look, we're such a blue collar show, Corey.
We are, man. We are. It's crazy. Mike, keep welding, bud. Be safe. Have you ever welded pipe?
No, I'm not good with fire, man.
I'd be really bad. Like Stephanie blows glass occasionally, and that you have to really light it up and get that flame going. So she blows glass. So I don't know. That might be similar to welding pipe.
How about a white collar guy, huh? How about Shane Kirkley? Let's go, Shane. 500, my man. Boom. Give it some sauce, As. I'm too excited, Corey. I'm losing my composure, coach. Pull it up.
Took way too long.
Well, let everybody brace themselves for Aslan going over the top.
Dollar bills, y'all.
Dollar bill, y'all. For $1, you could be a member, or you could just totally make our day and make me act like a clown for 500 Americans. Shane, thank you so much, man. A week from tomorrow, we'll all be hanging out. The amazingly gorgeous Michelle and I can't wait to see you all. Likewise, Corey.
I forgot to say that about Stephanie, the amazingly gorgeous Stephanie. I should have prefaced that. That's her descriptor. Shane, man, there's nothing left to say. You're awesome. We're going to see you in a week. Yep. We got a house. Warchant has a house somewhere in New Orleans. Why don't you and Michelle just stay there? Just stay there. We'll sleep in our cars. Aslan can sleep in the car, and you can have the whole house, man. You can have the whole house.
Bro, I'm going to be at my hotel, man. I got a nice hotel for a good price, man. Shout out American Express looking after their guy. I ain't going to be sleeping in the car. But
how far are you away from Harrah's?
0.2 miles.
Oh, buddy. It's go
man.
time then. It is go time.
Well,
I hope you're all coming. I hope most of you watching are going to be able to make it. It's been 20 years since the Noles were in New Orleans.
Shane, you got a question at all, man?
He never does.
I mean, just, do it, man. Hey, Shane, you're awesome. It's incredible. We'll never take you for granted, man. We appreciate it. You're the man. Our guy, Ralph, aloha, Warchant Ohana. That means family. How's it? 3 hours until I'm back in Tallahassee. So is he on a plane right now then?
He's got to be, right? Or he's maybe layover. I was going to say maybe has a layover and he landed in Atlanta and is driving down or something like that.
Again, a reminder, everybody, you can get involved in the show. There's a link next to Corey, I think, in the top corner of the screen here where you can click on it and get involved. We'll take your questions live on the show, much like we are with these people from YouTube, but, we can actually hear your voice and you can shout out wherever you're from. I think that's pretty cool. Timothy Scala asks, has Trey Benson looked better than Trayshawn Ward in practice? The running backs, to me, that's a very interesting group because it's going to be hot hand, right, Corey? They're going to have a plan, I'm sure, for each of those guys. And maybe kind of it goes back to a little bit of the question you asked Norvell today after practice about, like, do you really want to roll 9 receivers out there? And he didn't say yes or no to that, but he wants to keep guys fresh. Those 3 guys have their own different skill sets. I don't see one of those guys just taking over, man. Just they've looked too nip and tuck the entire way. But if somebody gets a hot hand, maybe at that point they separate themselves. But in practice, I haven't seen it.
And it really, I'm not just like couching this question or qualifying it and sitting on the fence with this answer. It's just hard to tell in practice because they don't get tackled. So you can see that a guy hits a hole fast. Well, they both hit a hole fast, and they're both fast kids. Like Trey Benson's faster, but Trayshawn Ward is pretty darn quick. But what makes Trayshawn Ward special, or what can make him special, I reserve the word special for the work dones of the world. But what makes Trayshawn Ward good is how tough he is, how hard he runs, the ability to break tackles. You don't see that in practice because they're not tackling him. So it's just really hard to say. They both look fine. They both look good. Toafili's looked as good as any of them. But again, it's practice. They're not being tackled. Trayshawn Ward has a unique ability to spin out of tackles, to fight off tackles, to fight through tackles. that we don't know that Trey Benson has, because Trey Benson's never done it. He has like 2 carries in his college career. 2. He's never really been a part of any kind of offense that mattered. So I think he has all the measurables and the speed. But let's see what it looks like when other guys are actually trying to get him to the ground, because right now they're just thudding.
Corey, per usual, very hyperbolic and lying and exaggerating. Trey Benson has 6 carries.
Oh, so how many yards?
I just deleted. I think
it might be 22. Maybe that's where I got the 2 from. I think he's rushed for 22 yards.
I was being sarcastic. That's 6 for 22. Look at you, Corey. Come on,
man. When you only have 22, they're easy to remember. Trey, we're wanting you to. What would be a good year for him? 40 times that number, 30 times that number. Get over 600. Get to 660.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, I don't know that a guy that's been in college football for 2 years or however long it's been, and only has 22 yards rushing in his career, has these kind of expectations. And I'm not saying that they're not deserved, because, man, he was good in the spring game. I thought he was the best running back in the spring. And again, he's been fine in camp. He could be a breakout player, man. He could be like Jashawn Corbin hadn't really accomplished anything in college either. And then he was good here. And we're expecting the same thing out of Johnny Wilson and Micah Pittman, who haven't done much. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting.
Where's our guy Chris Clayton at? Come on, Chris. Come on, man. Would a 4-0 start make you start to believe in a 10-win season? Absolutely, man.
Yeah, man, because that's
LSU.
If you win LSU and at Louisville.
Wake Forest. Yeah, man.
Yeah. And you, more importantly, probably you really start to believe in Mike Norvell. And I'm not talking about us. I'm talking about you guys, like Florida State fans, really start to believe in. Well, maybe I'm talking to Aslan there.
Yeah.
Really start to believe in Mike Norvell with starting off the way they started off last year. If they go 4-0, what did they finish the year last year? Weren't they 4-1 in their last 5, or 3-2 in their last 5? 3-1 in their last 4 at least.
Well, they lost. Well, they beat Miami, BC, and then lost to Florida to end the season, right?
But they had UMass in there too, sprinkled in, I think.
UMass was before. I think UMass was before
Clemson,
NC State, or whatever.
Okay, well, we should know. It's hard to know, but they, after going 0-4 to start a season,
let's stop doing that. Can we just stop massaging that number? Like, they were 5-7. Like, they went 4 and they finished 4-1 their last 5. Whatever, man. They went 5-7.
Well, over a 10-game stretch, they will have been what, 8-9 and.
Oh, here we go. This
8-2. I'm saying, like, you go
undefeated seasons. Like, they had a 26-game winning streak stretching back, and now we're like, well,
But you don't think that a 4-game winning streak to start the season, coupled with how they finished last season, which they were 5-2, they would be 9-2 in the last 11 games that Jordan Travis played. 9-2. You don't think you can take, you can't embrace that and be like, okay, something might have changed here, something might have flipped.
No.
All right, well, that's how you're built.
They went 2-3 in their last 5, if you want to be real about things. I mean, they lost to Clemson, they lost to NC State, they beat Miami and Boston College, and they lost to Florida. But if you want to be the bright side guy, you can say they went 5-3 in their last 8. Awesome.
So it'd be 9-3 in their last 12, with a loss to NC State without Jordan Travis, with their starting quarterback had the flu, a loss at Clemson when they had the lead with the fourth quarter, and a loss by 3 points at the Swamp. You'd be 9-3 in your last 12 games. People would be, hey, man, I'm just looking for some positivity, Aslan.
We're on top of Kilimanjaro at that point. All right, well, let's unveil this new feature here. I was hoping to be Gator Kirk. No offense to our guy in the Rocket City of Huntsville, Joseph, but Joseph beat him to the punch on it. So let's go ahead. Let's go to the green room here on the Wake Up Warchant Live, brought to you by Corner Pocket Bar and Grill, as well as our good friends DeLuna Coffee. We'll talk more about them here in a second. Joseph, it's been a long time. What do you want to talk about tonight, man?
What's up, fellas? How y'all be?
More about them here in a second.
Can y'all hear me?
Joseph, it's been there's been a little bit of echo because you might not have headphones. So
how y'all be?
Hit mute right now and then ask your question.
Okay. Let me.
I think he muted himself, Aslan.
No. Oh, he did. I'm sorry, Joseph. Mute your speakers on your laptop or your computer, but unmute yourself, your actual microphone, so we can hear you ask your question. I meant mute your computer so you'll stop hearing me talk, and then you can.
Okay, hold on 1 second. I'm gonna
absolutely
pull y'all up on my phone.
It sounds better though. We can hear you now, man.
Oh man, it's great.
Can y'all?
Yeah. We can hear you. Ice cold Nole. Yeah, what you got, Joseph?
Hold on one sec.
I love live programming. I miss my television days. Never know what's going to come at you.
I like this new feature.
Well, we'll see how it goes here.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah. All right, Joseph, what you got, man?
All right. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, man. Ask the question. We got you, buddy. We got you, big dog.
All right. Man, it's been a while, man. How y'all been?
Good.
Okay.
Good. Oh, we got.
I just wanted to say real quick shout out to y'all. Like you said, it's been a while. Oh, you asked about why I changed my name. Ice Cold is because of my fraternity. At any rate, I wanted to say, I'm just gonna say this real quick. I've been listening to your podcast, of course, for the past few ever since spring and whatnot. And I know it's you got mad faith in the way the program is looking, the way the team is looking now, and I do too. But I'm just going to say this real quick: if you got that much faith, the way that I do not predict 7-6. Have faith in your prediction that we will win no less than 8 games, no less. You got to say, if you got that much faith, which I do, we are not winning 7-6. 7-6 is not a good season. 7-6 is not acceptable. We're gonna look. 8 games is the floor. 8 games is the floor. But I'm so glad to be back with you guys. I'm out. Love you guys, man.
Well, that's the way to do it, everybody. That was a really good tutorial about how to ask your question, then get off the line.
Well, except for the first minute.
Well,
hey, we're working out some kinks. We're working out. He was our guinea pig. He was our canary in the coal mine right there. So yeah, man, thank you very much. Just for doing that, for helping us. And I will say this, like,
what's holding you back? What's holding me back is that, listen, there was times in practice where I would see Jordan Travis. I'm like, man, how do you defend that guy? How are you going to stop him? And I'm not being sarcastic. I know I criticize him here and there. But man, he's shown that he's a talented, explosive guy. But then in games, things just didn't work out. And I don't know, maybe they have better receivers, so I should believe in him more. They have a better offensive line. We should believe in him more. I mean, I think that to me is that's like the big, we talk about, we need to see Jared Verse do it, or we need to see Johnny Wilson do it, or whomever. Man, I want to see like video game Jordan Travis where, all right, you want to drop back in coverage? Good luck. 10-yard run like that. Okay, you want to blitz him? You want to pressure him? Boom, I'm going to get the ball out of my hand really fast. Guy coming out of the backfield, maybe a quick slant to do span, and it's gone. Man, I need to see the offense. Like, I want to believe in the offense, but I need to see. That's what's kind of holding me back right now, Corey. What's holding you back then from saying it with your chest the way Joseph wants us to say it?
Yeah, man, Joseph, I hear you. I understand you. I just that, when you've been burned for 5 straight years of thinking they're going to be better than they end up being. Last year was about what I thought, honestly. Again, if we just throw that one stupid game and that stupid final play out, they go to a bowl, which is what we thought they would do. Around 500-ish is what I was expecting last year, I think. And so I do think they'll be better this year. It's the schedule, and it's a bunch of guys that haven't won a lot. And I just want to see them win a lot. Before I can trust them to win 2/3 of their games, I have to see it. You just have to prove it. It was like in 2013, man. I thought Florida State was a better team than Clemson. Clearly, I did going into that game. But I'd never seen Florida State hadn't won up there in a decade. So it's like until you do it, I can't predict you're going to do it. And that's probably, I guess that's not how this stuff works necessarily. I should have more faith, but I have to see it. It's easy to get locked into what you see at practice. But LSU's got guys that are probably having really good camps too. So does Louisville. So does Georgia Tech even. So does Miami. Like those guys are on scholarship too. I think Florida State's better. It's hard to know. The opponents are so they're unknown. I don't know how good this schedule is and how good these teams are going to be.
Rob Krause, let's get to this one. Bill Connolly, S&P projection, has FSU beating Duquesne 48-8. Is that a score that would make you feel confident moving forward for the season, or is it also dependent on how the game flows and plays out? I like 48-8. I think that's a good sign.
48-8, huh? So they go for 2?
Yeah, right.
My man goes for 2 to
Bunch of
cut it to 40. Yeah.
Bunch of wild snaps over the end zone.
Man, I guess that's the thing with this game that we've talked about is that like the only way you're going to take something from this game, really, like confident wise, going into the season. Not confidence wise. Something you think can is a precursor of what the season is going to be is if it's a bad game, if they struggle, then you're going to be like, oh man, this isn't a very good team at all. If they beat Duquesne 48-8, you're just going to say, well, that was Duquesne. That's what you're supposed to do. So it's really kind of there's nothing really to glean from it other than you put some stuff on film, especially the wide receivers and the defensive ends. The two worst the two positions that I think were the biggest question marks coming into this season are at the end, going into the offseason. If they have good games, maybe you can try to feel good about that. But I mean, say Jared Verse gets 2.5 sacks. All right, man. LSU's guys are a little bit better than what you went up against. So that's all. So it'll all just be cautiously optimistic after a game, a 48-8 game.
All right, Mike. Positive Aslan from here on out. Promise. Oh, let's go to our guy. He doesn't have a question. He just shows up and just drops bags. Rob Rathbun, everybody. Boom, a little bit of this.
Dollar bills, y'all.
And then he did it again like a minute later. It's just another. If that was like a credit card accident, I don't know if we can refund you, but we'll do it. But I don't think it's a problem because you're. Thanks, Rob. We appreciate the heck out of you, man. He dropped some money. We closed a super chat down for In the Coop with Robert Cooper, which will happen every Monday at 7:30 because we want to push everybody to risingspear.com to give back to the program. But, man, he jumped in like 5 minutes before the show even started and was like, boom, 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 here's money. So, Rob, we appreciate the heck out of you.
Have we ever met Rob?
No, but we've met the Stevens. The Stevenses, maybe the first name Stevens. There's a family that's friends with him. One of his fraternity brothers. We've met them.
Oh, all right.
Remember Sevy in Nashville? Yeah. Those people.
Rob, you're the best, man. Well, you're one of the best. I can't pick you over others, but you're very kind, man. Very, very kind. Ask questions, seriously. Even if you just want to know like how Aslan's 40th birthday went.
It was all right. Dustin Ritter, which receiver are you looking forward to seeing most in real game action? Johnny or Deuce or another? Johnny.
Well, it's one of those two. I would say Johnny. But man, I feel like I said yesterday, I'm out to the point now where I think Johnny is a proven commodity in my mind. I know he's going to be something much different than that has been around here in a while. Deuce is the one that I want to. It's like I don't know, man. There's just so much room to grow, and he could be. He is such a wild card. I guess that's what I don't even think Johnny Wilson's a wild card anymore. He is a good college receiver that is going to score touchdowns. Deuce is a guy that can change things. Like he's a guy you're not really counting on to have a huge year. Like if I asked you right now how many catches is Deuce Spann going to have? Like I think we put the over-under on like 15 for the season. And I think all of us took the under a week and a half ago. So we're still not counting on him to have a huge year. But what if he did? What if he gave you 35 for 600? Like that's in him. That's in him. That body type, the explosiveness, the pure speed. The way he's catching the ball now, he looks so much more natural catching the football that you're like, man, maybe he's going to put it all together. Maybe he is an NFL guy. And that's so he's really, really intriguing to watch over the course of this season.
Benjamin Tuchert. Probably butcher that. Sorry, Ben. Top 3 highlight plays of the year. What players make them? Jordan.
Or is he talking about last year? Is he talking about last year and which players made them? I assume he's talking about this year.
Yeah.
I think Jordan. Pittman will have one, right?
No. Jordan, Johnny, Jamie.
Okay, yeah, that's good. The 3 J's. That's fine. I think Pittman might have a punt return that we might talk about when the season's over.
Okay. I'm about to say that. So we're also doing an over-under for our subscribers on the Tribal Council for the Friday podcast, which will also be Renegade Express. We don't have enough days in the week to do all the stuff that we're doing. But if you're the grand prize winner, we'll get a $50 gift certificate e-card to Garnet and Gold. So be on the lookout for that. I was going to segue to something, highlight plays. But yeah, I figure like the over-under, instead of like the over-under should always be like, will this be the week they return a kick for a touchdown? Yes or no? And like instead of like an over-under, should be yes or no. Like, will this finally be the week?
You could make the over-under 0.5. How many touchdown returns does Florida State have this week?
There we go. Yes. And what would I do without you?
Yeah, there you go. That's an over-under.
What'd I do? There's our guy, Mark. He's from Naples, but he also was in Tulane for a little bit. He's a lawman. He's smart, and he also does this for us, so we appreciate it. 50 American. Thank you, Mark. We appreciate you, man. Go Noles, he says. Corey, other names for cornhole that you may prefer: bag toss, beanbag game, bags game, tailgate toss, soft horseshoes, hillbilly toss, Chuck Owen doghouse. Classic segment on headlines. Duquesne will not be a problem. Love you guys.
Will not be a problem. I don't think they're going to be a problem either. And yeah, we were talking about cornhole. I think it's such an unfortunate name. Like, why would you call it that? I think it has to do with the kernels in the bags. They're corn kernels, I think. And then obviously you're trying to get into a hole, but still, it's not a great name. And like everything else, much like Canada at the fifth inning at Hauser, there's no real there's no real set foundation of how it started, who started it, where it was invented. Some people say it was invented in Cincinnati. Some people say it was invented in 1300s in Germany. So, but we all love cornhole, and we're all going to be playing it. What, 3 days from now? At a tailgate with real college football going on. I can't believe we made it. And Mark, you're the best, man. Thank you, buddy.
Not far behind him is Eric Angel, fellow pillar.
Yep.
Eric says, "See you guys Saturday. Go Noles." And here's 40 American. Thank you, Eric.
Angel in the house. In the house.
Hard-working, generous dude. We appreciate the heck out of you. Thank you very much, Eric.
We do, man. Thank you very much, Eric. For real. Thank you.
Rooney Knoll, if you guys could choose a bowl game opponent, who would it be? He says West Virginia. I would love to see another Jamie Robinson interception.
So, that was the last. So that was the last time they played them, right? It was Bowden's last game. It has to be when they just inexplicably stopped giving the ball to Noel Devine. But yeah, that was a fun moment. That was a fun beat. That was a fun day. That was one of the cooler days to cover Florida State football. It was a big win. Bowden got to go out on top against his old team. The excitement of a new guy taking over and what he was going to do and his vision, and then it turned out he did pretty well there for a good stretch. You got anybody you'd want to see? Indiana, maybe a little DJ Matthews action.
Maybe my guy Lane. I'd like to see Lane. It'd be cool to hang out Lane, catch up, see how he's been, how the family's doing, Knox and everybody.
Okay.
SEC school. I'd like to play and beat an SEC school.
A&M? You want to be part of A&M maybe? Okay, fair.
Yeah. Thomas Giddings, $20 in the jar. Hey, man. And he also throws those awesome ice hockey T-shirts, which we wear every now and then. It's in the other room right now.
I work out in mine a lot. The problem now, Thomas, and this is not, I promise this is not solicitation for another shirt, is it's too big for me now. As are my pants and my shorts. I've really got, and Aslan, you've told me this, I've got to get better pants and jeans and shorts. They're too baggy. I look like an idiot. I understand that. But I don't understand you guys wearing these shorts that go up halfway up your thigh. I mean, I just can't. What are we doing? Like we're all John Stockton again. I just don't understand it. I'll never get that to that point. But Brady is embarrassed to be seen with me sometimes because my shorts are so low.
Great cash, homie.
Thanks, Thomas. You're awesome. Corey, does Ira hosting the Register's Meat Barbecue for you guys right the ship for Florida State and Coach Mike Norvell?
Well, that's what we're hoping. That's a tradition. I think Ira wants to start on Friday, as he's going to have after the happy hour. I think he talked about with Jeff and I at Corner Pocket from 5-ish to 6-ish, 5:15-ish to 6:15-ish. We'll be there at Corner Pocket, taking questions, filming, putting it up on YouTube. But after that, we're going to go to Ira's, hopefully. Not the whole gang, not all of us, not you guys, just the Warchant crew, trying to like a team building, getting ready for the season and see if maybe it flips the script. And because he's never done it before. And these last 5 years have been horrific. So maybe this time doing this starts the climb.
All right. Golly, I lost the thought I was going to go with. Well, not the thought, but the post. Somebody was asking about Jamie Samurai Knoll, our guy in Japan. It's morning over there in the land of the rising sun. So we appreciate him. He said, did you watch Jamie's interview on Champions Collective? Makes me pumped up. And then our guy, Ed Lemick, says, Samurai Knoll, that's our collective. We have 9 players, which
that pumps me up. That pumps me up, Ed.
There you go.
Guys, this is a very special occasion. The Godfather himself has been kind enough to grace us with his presence. The Godfather. This is his damn house. He lives here. He sleeps 20 feet away.
That will never not make me smile. Ed Lemmix, the man behind all this great stuff, which is DeLuna Coffee, DeLunaCoffee.com. Head over there, get yourself the tumbler package. You either get coffee or hot chocolate, and you get the awesome DeLuna tumbler. Whatever you can pour your coffee in this thing now, and it'll still be hot for you on kickoff Saturday against Duquesne. It's got the Wake Up Warchant branding, also repping DeLuna. They're a Florida State family through and through. Ed, Brett, and Courtney, graduates, alums, boosters, collective heads going with it. So the promo code WARCHANT15 saves you 15% off the order too. Go to the website, get the tumbler, get the package, gift it, and then give somebody also $1 subscription for an entire year to WARCHANT.com. You can't lose. You can't lose. And also,
Ed, look forward to seeing you, buddy. Look forward to seeing you and the family. Hopefully, probably not this week. They're not coming over for this game, I don't think. But we better definitely see you in New Orleans, man.
And also get involved in the show here. We'll wind it down. If we're going to keep going, obviously, but we're going to maybe close out the line so our guys in the back there can take some time off. They've been busy trying to get everything ready for this green room function where you guys can call in. If you want to get involved in the show, you can actually speak to us, much the way Joe did. If you're going to call us from a laptop, say hello and then mute the actual laptop so you can't hear us and just start talking, and we'll take your question. Or else, I think you can probably do it on your phone too. So if you're watching us on your phone, there should be a link in the chat pinned to the top to get involved in the program. Just click on that link, tap on it, and then you'll come backstage and we'll get you here on the show. And we can talk football. R. Wilmer asks, Corey, do we have a tight end touchdown in the first 2 games?
Sure. Yeah. Yep. Let me go ahead and say that. Yeah, sure. And that was good news from Wednesday that Cam McDonald was out there practicing. He's been, limited much of camp, but he's out there practicing, which is, and Mike Norvell talked about that a couple weeks ago, how limited he had been. Him and Darius Williamson. Did I say Darius? Darian Williamson. Both were out there making plays on Wednesday. And that's, man, look, I don't think the tight end play has been very strong at all. I'll be flat out honest with you. Through camp. And really since Nick O'Leary left, if we're being honest. But through camp. Cam McDonald helps, man. Cam McDonald, at worst, is a decent tight end, an average tight end. And if you can be average at tight end, because I think I don't feel like you're average much places, right? Like, I feel like you might be in the ACC. Right. I think you're probably a little bit above average. You're not great at anything, at any position, I don't think. I don't think you'd look at any position on this team and say that is a great segment. That is a great position group. But yeah, you're right. I don't know if I'll throw Akeem Dent in there quite yet. Jamie Robinson for sure. But Akeem Dent, maybe he could be a difference maker too. He thinks he's going to have 10 picks this year. He'd make a lot of All-American teams if he did that. But you're not. So I don't know that you're great at any one position, but I think you're not below average at anything either, I don't think. Maybe tight end, but I think Cam McDonald's pretty solid tight end. Just not incredible, but serviceable. And look, man, I know that's not what you want to hear as a Florida State fan. Oh, we got a serviceable tight end. We're serviceable here and there. Man, they have not been serviceable at some positions for a while now. I think they're at least serviceable and in some positions actually good, which is why it's 8-4, baby. It's 8-4 bust.
All right. Let's transition back to the comfortable digs that we have here usually. Is this what we do now? Boom. And then boom. There we go. All right. We're all back. Just the way it used to look. Feels comfortable. Ooh, there we go. That feels so much better now. You folks don't even know what's going on right now because you're listening to us on a podcast, but things have just changed over here dramatically. Let's close it strong down. Let's close the show down strongly, I guess. Ed Lemmix says, thanks for the promo. Everybody follow Champion Collective. We will see you Saturday.
Oh, okay. They are coming over for the big Duquesne game. There you go, Ed.
Thomas Giddings came back with even more. Let's get a little one more because for Ed, obviously.
Yes.
Corey, what size you want your shirt, your ice hockey shirt?
Well, first off, Ed, thank you very much, man. It's very kind. And that's, you're talking about a guy that's putting money back into the program and I'm not talking about this program, although he does that too, which we really appreciate, but putting money back into the Florida State program, like Many of our big donors on this show already do, folks. They give a lot of money to the program. So yeah, it's very, very appreciated. So thank you, Ed. And yeah, cool, man. I get to see you. And then Thomas, what size? A medium, I think.
Embrace
medium.
it.
I like a medium.
You're a medium-sized man, Corey. You're not small, and you're not a large dude. You're a medium-sized man. And I don't know why we medium-sized men have to be like weird about, oh, yeah, I wear a medium instead of like saying I don't want to wear a large. I'll look weird in a large.
And I also want to show off. I want to show off what's working a little bit, man. Why do all this work if I don't show it off, Aslan? I wear something a little tighter. But mainly, I sweat a lot. And if I wear a medium to a smaller size shirt, I just sweat straight through it very quickly. So that's why I've always been a little more bigger fan of the baggier stuff. But I'm getting over it. I'm not doing it anymore.
Mark Sermon's $10. Thank you, Mark. Appreciate that. He says he was surprised to hear that Johnny Wilson could be better than Kelvin Benjamin. So was I.
So the thing about Dominic Robinson, because he has not been at practice, obviously, he lives in Arizona, but he has a relationship with Johnny Wilson. He's worked out with him. That's kind of what he does for a living. He trains athletes, and he trained Johnny Wilson. So he's seen him up close in the way he moves for a kid that size. The way he moves, his speed, his strength, his explosiveness, his quickness. I think Johnny Wilson is, let's say Johnny Wilson plays 2 years here. He could maybe have a better career than Kelvin Benjamin because Kelvin didn't do a whole lot in 12. And really, he had 3 100-yard games in his career at Florida State. But man, the second half of that season in 2013, he was just a dominant force. He was go watch the ACC championship game, then obviously what he did to win a national championship. I mean, they couldn't guard him. They could not guard him when it mattered most because how could you? He's a 6'5", 6'6" kid that can jump. Johnny Wilson, I'm not there yet. I'm not there at all with saying he could be better than Kelvin Benjamin's ceiling when Kelvin was trying to get in shape and make money and win a championship and then go be a first-round pick. I don't know that Johnny Wilson has that kind of ceiling, but I think he could be better than 2012 Kelvin Benjamin. Absolutely. And I think he's going to be there is a chance he is a force. There is a chance that Johnny Wilson is a force on offense.
That's Kelvin's 2013 season, by the way, everybody on the screen right there. Which, yeah, it's kind of crazy how kind of up and down it was. Just the way he closed it just makes us think that it was rainbows and lollipops all 14 weeks.
Yeah, but you look at he had 2 catches against Nevada. Well, they won 62-7.
Yeah,
and then the next week against Bethune-Cookman, he had an incredible catch in that game for a touchdown on a scramble by Jameis. BC 3 for 103. He made contributions. Like if Johnny Wilson had a year like that, even if you just take away the Florida game completely out of the stats. So Benjamin has 800 yards receiving. That still would be a very, very good year for Johnny Wilson. If he gets to 800, 900 yards, that's certainly more than you would have expected when he announced that he was coming to Florida State.
All right. Sorry.
You are one distracted guy, Aslan. I feel like I'm
all out of sorts, man. It's been a weird day, man. Yeah, absolutely, Matthew Bruce. I mean, what would be the counter, man? He asked, do you think it's an advantage for us to have a week 0 game against Duquesne to work out any issues and get the first game jitters out of the way? I mean, What would be the disadvantage?
Well, maybe the disadvantage is you give LSU some film to look at, maybe. Like Johnny, you can't just spring Johnny or Deuce on them like they don't, but they read these reports. They're probably subscribed. I can guarantee you Brian Kelly had a $1 membership to Warchant. When he knew it was only $1, he's like, I'm going to go in there and I'm going to get the intel. Be on Warchant 24 hours a day. But yeah, it's definitely an advantage. It's definitely an advantage. Now, it doesn't mean that it's so much of an advantage they're going to beat LSU, but just getting those first game jitters out of the way and not having to play LSU to open a season, I think is just big for everything. It's big for the fan base's psyche to hopefully be 1-0 to start a season.
Delaney Way, which is funny. One of my good friends actually grew up on a street called Delaney Way, but this looks like the L is that stylized, we would say, when it's capitalized like that?
I don't know, buddy.
Anyhow, how has Darius Washington looked at center?
He's big.
Good.
Yeah,
Good.
Yeah. He snaps the ball got to get the snaps down completely, but he's working on it. He is working on it. And I mean, maybe it ends up being a blessing in disguise.
He needs to get the snaps up, actually.
Yeah. Sorry, I meant down as in he's got them figured out.
Down pat.
Down pat. But maybe it ends up being a blessing in disguise that now you have this guy that can play center, and when Maurice Smith comes back, you have some more depth.
Yeah, they also were trying out some other combinations, and we can't talk about specifics. And I actually thought one of the combinations, I kind of liked the way it looked, and it wasn't. If you'd been like, all right, here's the roster, put 5 guys out there to play offensive line, I don't think I would have gone with this specific 5, but they're all large, and like okay, and the snaps look good. Boom, strike zone right there. So we'll see if they maybe dabble in that, or if that's maybe something they're holding out for maybe LSU. Who knows how it goes? But Darius Washington, is trying. I mean, he was drilling on the side, as much as possible. There's just so many different little things that we don't realize about playing center that it is different. And they talk about they cross train all the time, but man, there's just a different. There's different physics to your footwork when you're a center versus when you're playing tackle. I mean, it's simple as that. And he kind of has to get used to that.
Yeah.
Playing in that kind of phone booth. And as soon as you pop your head up, you already got somebody on you, and you can't just shuffle your feet. You literally pop your feet back. It's a weird thing. I saw him doing on the side, but he's trying. All of his teammates are helping coach him up. So, I think.
Don't you think going back to that question?
This Duquesne team, real quick. This Duquesne team, they're going to play 3-4, and they bring back all their 3 dudes on their starting front. So I think this is probably a good kind of test for Darius too, to get him ready for Mason Smith and whatever Matt House and LSU are going to throw at him.
And I was going to say, going back to the last question about the advantage of week 0, is you do have a center that has not played very much football at center. LSU's doing the same thing, right? They moved their tackle to center. It's good to get a game in there where he gets 50 reps practicing snapping the ball in a game that matters. Maybe 50, maybe 45. We'll see. We don't know how long he's going to play. Maybe 30. But that's good too, to be able to get reps snapping the ball in real competition, where they don't blow the whistle as soon as the ball gets by the quarterback.
Come on, Kayvon. It's supposed to be positive, man. It's supposed to be positive.
Kayvon asked, is the onside kicking improved? We haven't. I don't remember seeing a lot of them practicing that yet. And why would they, Aslan? They're not going to need to practice onside kicking. They're not going to be coming back in the 4th quarter where they need a quick recovery.
They're going to be winning games. King Mac asks, any news on Ja'Kai Douglas's injury? Is it just a tweak? I'm picking this young man for a breakout year. He is in my top 5. Don't sleep on Pokey and Ja'Kai. Soon, right? That's all we got from Norvell. That he got banged up, but they plan on having him back soon. So he's not lost for the year like Caden Lyles and Steven Dix are. So, but we don't know how to quantify soon.
Right.
But,
and you know how, again, Norvell gives us more access than anybody in the country, but injuries are something he doesn't like talking about, and he certainly doesn't want us talking about it. So, but yes, we don't know if it's just a tweak. We don't know if he'll be back for LSU or be back for Louisville or be back for Clemson. We just don't know. So no news to report.
Rob Krause back, did an Illinois 2021 season rewatch last night. Man, that's incredible.
Rob Krause, man, getting it done.
I know the hype about Johnny Wilson, but Deuce Spann came up with some big catches for that team last year. Are we sleeping on him?
I don't think so. We talk about him a lot. I just said I think he could be one of the wild cards of the whole season, right? He could be one of the if he has a breakout season, that would be enormous for this football team. Absolutely enormous. Because we know Micah Pittman and Johnny Wilson are good football players. I think Pokey Wilson's a decent ACC wide receiver. To have another guy on top of that might be, as talented or more talented than all of them, that actually gets close to his potential, that would be enormous. That would be huge.
Let's see. Jay from Daytona. I would not mind Wilson being a mix between Greg Carr and Auden Tate. By the way, how about Coach Prime grabbing Mike Zimmer as an analyst? If we got a former head coach as a coordinator, the fan base would go nuts. I know we'll find a way to downplay it, though.
What is Zimmer's an analyst at Jackson State?
I know he's on his staff. I don't think he's his coordinator, so I'm sure he probably is an analyst.
The old Vikings, the guy that was the Vikings coach last year. Wow. Yeah, that's All right, Prime. I see what you're doing, Prime. Yeah, you're right.
Paths a while back. I mean, that's the whole thing about. That was one of my just the Rolodex thing, like, Lane Kiffin, Deion Sanders have a different Rolodex than Mike Norvell, but they're not the head coach of Florida State, so we don't worry about them as much.
By the way, Auden
Tate, yeah, that's a good.
But I was going to say, Auden Tate got cut by the Falcons yesterday, which was sad to see. He's in the league for 4 years.
Who else do you guys have?
I don't know. Not Julio. Is Calvin Ridley? Is he still a football player? I don't know what's going on. I thought Auden Tate was a cinch to make that team because they don't have a lot of or any real offensive weapons. But yeah,
is Marcus Mariota your guys' quarterback?
Yeah,
that's incredible.
I know it is remarkable. Him and Jameis in the same division again. Him and the Jameis are going to get to play 2 times a year again. Yeah, Greg Carr is somebody that I was thinking about that comparison the other day when Johnny was making another just throw it up to me in the end zone. I'm taller and better than the guy guarding me touchdown catch. And I'm like, Greg Carr was kind of slept on because that's all they did. And it was kind of that people made fun of it because it was the Jeff Bowden offense, just lob it up to the 6'6" guy. But that dude had like 28 touchdown catches in his career, 25. Like he wasn't a joke. If it wasn't for him, they would average 12 points a game during those years. Like he was a big time player for that offense. I think Johnny Wilson has a little more upside because I think Johnny Wilson's maybe a bit tougher going across the middle, making plays across the middle. Greg Carr was kind of just run down the sidelines and throw it up. I think Johnny Wilson's got a little bit more in his bag, but I'm not going to sleep on Greg Carr and what he accomplished, man. If Johnny Wilson could get to 25 touchdowns in his career at Florida State, then we'll see. Greg Carr he scored touchdowns. That's what he did.
Chris Sanders, we got Gator Kirk in the green room. I don't really know how to work the green room, but we'll try to bring you on and see how it works. And I'll make sure we cover it up so we don't show your face, so you can keep your anonymity about you. But Chris Sanders, in the meantime, asks, how many passes, let's just get right to it then, how many does Johnny Wilson catch Saturday? And then also shout out to Josh Farmer, product of my hometown of Apalachicola. Also Trey and Umstead Sanders and Calvin Pryor.
Okay, all right. I was going to say this. Do you think there's a sense at all about with Mike Norvell and Alex Atkins and Ron Dugans, all the hype around Johnny Wilson, that feeds into maybe some play calling on Saturday? Like we have to get this kid 5 or 6 or 7 catches just not only to build him up to show what he can be, but to prove something about the hype. Like if he goes out there and has 1 catch for 11 yards after the camp he's had, do you think that's factored in at all? Like, hey, we're even if they're up 28-0 in the late second quarter, you want to take some shots with Johnny Wilson to kind of get him on the board a little bit, so to speak?
Is this you like paying me back for all the bad questions I've asked you over the years?
No. Do you think that would factor into them at all?
No. I mean, I don't think they need. There's no Moss. What was it like? Randy. Or something touches where like Randy Moss just had to get the ball X amount of time. I don't think they'll feel obligated to get. I mean, they want to get Johnny involved in the game plan. They have a game plan to get him involved, but I don't think there's any kind of sense of like, let's show off this toy that everybody's been talking about because, I mean, that's not the way a coaching staff works. I wouldn't think. Well, maybe you want to have LSU something to think about. I'd rather LSU be like, all right, whatever. We saw him catch 2 passes, whatever, and then he just goes, punches you in the mouth. Calabasas, what? Okay,
there you go, Aslan. I just think it'd be great for his confidence. His quarterback's confidence in him. And plus it's Duquesne. Like, what are they going to – they're just going to single cover him out wide? Like, that seems like a bit of a mismatch.
Oh, I gotta do all this other stuff. This might not work out for our guy, Gator Kirk. I'm sorry. We're going to try to get you on here. Again, we're going to have a whole rootin' tootin' pregame show and then a postgame show. We're going to take phone calls, and we're going to use this green room feature. So Gator Kirk is back there. I'm gonna have our faces raised up here in a second, Corey. So just bear with me here as I try to figure out what I'm doing with my life here. We're so close. There we are. Oh, we got to do
This
this
real
real quick. Probably just sent the entire world into a tizzy with this echoing. All right. I got that done. Let's go in here. Gator Kirk. Oh, I got to move.
Hey, next time. How about next
Yeah, I
time?
don't
Then?
think
We'll
I
do it
can do it.
next
I don't think I
time.
can do it, Gator Kirk, because I have to like drop off, and it's gonna. We're just gonna try it, Corey.
Okay. I love it. I love it. I see me. I don't see you, Aslan.
I'm back. I should be back. Gator Kirk, are you there? Oh, he is. Gator
I
Kirk.
don't know.
Gator Kirk.
Do you hear me?
We do. We
You don't
do.
sound
What's
like
up, Gator Kirk?
Is it really Gator Kirk? It doesn't sound like him. It might be a troll.
Gator Kirk.
Yes, sir.
It is him. All right, it does sound like you. It's been such a long time since I've heard your voice, Gator Kirk. What's going on, man?
No. Let's go. It's game week.
There you
That's
go.
right. That's right. What's on your
GK is
mind?
back.
I'm trying to. I have head.
You're fine. We can hear you just great,
We can
man.
hear you, bud. We can hear you. We promise.
Alrighty. Which is greater, the number of drinks Corey has at happy hour, or the points Duquesne scores?
Well, look, I'll be honest with you. During happy hour or the whole night, because happy hour, I'm only going to probably have 1.5 or 2. And they're going to score more than that. They're going to at least kick a field goal. But throughout the night, because what I do, Gator Kirk, is I cut my shots in half. So if I take, let's say I had 5 shots of vodka over the course of a 7-hour night, it's really 10 drinks because I do half a shot into my water, my Mios, just to whirl it around. So let's say the over-under at 10, Aslan. What do we think? Are they scoring more or less? If I have 10 drinks, remember they're half a shot drinks. I'm not getting loose. What do we think, Aslan?
Less. Yeah, less. Under.
So I'm going to have more drinks on Friday night than
Yes.
Duquesne's going to score points.
Yes.
Okay, great question, Gator Kirk. Good job, buddy.
All right. Thank you. You guys. Oh, by the way, Corey, Secretariat was born in Virginia, baby, not in Kentucky, like you said on Wake Up a week or so ago.
It's still the South, though, right? Still the point remains. But you're right. I should have known that.
It's the South.
Yeah,
It's
you're
Caroline County, by the way. So.
Okay. All right. Hey, there's some more knowledge. We got Fort Duquesne on here. We got Secretariat's birthplace. Well educated show.
All right. Y'all have a great night. I look forward to watching the Duquesne game. Hell, maybe one time I'll get down to Tally and get to sign that damn pillar.
Let's do it, Gator Kirk.
Fingers crossed. Be on the lookout for a DM from me, Gator Kirk. I'm going to shoot you a DM, ask you some questions about this whole experience. But we're going to let you go. Thank you very much. And then what else I got?
Look at my eyes. Look at you can see my just baby blues, man. And you don't see my gray goatee. You'd be like, man, look at that soft head and those baby blues. What is he? 21 years old?
I mean, I don't know why it's.
And then you do that, and you're like, oh no, he's late 40s.
Yeah. All right. All right. We're going to go. We're wrapping up. We've hit an hour, but we got our guy here, Stephen Williams. It's been a minute, and we appreciate this. 50 American. I think that's Steve-O. I'm pretty sure that's Big Steve-O 22.
Okay.
Steve-O, hope your boy's doing well, man. I know, a few years ago, you guys had some big-time surgeries you had to go through, and he pulled through. So hopefully he's living a very healthy, normal life in the crazy year that is 2022. Thank you very much for the $50. I'm sure hopefully you're a member of Warchant now. I know you were over at the old network, but everybody, all Florida State fans, it's only $1 to be a member of warchant.com. Go sign up. He says it's been a very long time. Glad to see you guys are doing well. Did you guys ever convince Gene to do a post preseason top 40? Sounds like some things have moved around. Can't wait to see our Noles shock the world.
It's a good question, Stephen. We didn't, though, did we? We have not done that. We will definitely do one after the season, maybe. Like, I think that, go back and revisit it and see how right we were and how wrong we were. I think that's a nice touch we could do in between the Florida game and the bowl game. That's right, baby. And I said bowl game because we are going to a bowl this year, folks. Come hell or high water. Even if we have to go watch 2 other teams play. Aslan and I are going to be broadcasting from a bowl destination at some point this year. And Stephen, thank you very much, man. That's very, very kind of you. And I echo Aslan's sentiments. I hope everything is going well in your life.
Just off the hoof, I mean, I'm cheating because I have numbers 7 through 40 here available. But Deuce Spann is not on this list.
Yep.
That is a mistake.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, right now, we didn't know about injuries, but injuries happen. Just for an example, Ja'Kai Douglas is at 30. Lawrence Toafili's 31. Probably almost guaranteed now that Toafili's going to have him. Although it can only maybe be 1 or 2 games, so maybe that might be a little bit premature. Johnny Wilson at 27. Shout out to Gene, which I'm a little bit disappointed in you, Corey, because, man, you were – listen, and I know I had a weird exchange with Mike Norvell in Jacksonville when I asked him about Johnny Wilson. I'm like, man, he's been quite the revelation, huh?
Yeah.
And he was like, well, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, we've always thought he was good. I'm sorry, man. Like, you know more about football than I do, Mike Norvell, absolutely. But, man, I did not see a great wide receiver in spring when I looked at Johnny Wilson. Like, I saw a great physical specimen, but I did not see a consistent pass catcher. He became that in the fall. And you were talking about it all spring long, Corey. And I'm like, what are you talking about, man? He keeps dropping passes. You're like, man, this guy can be something. There's 6'7" guys just aren't around. There's no 6'7" cornerback to cover him. So the fact that Gene put him at 11th and you weren't the guy that had him the highest.
What I have him at?
I don't know. I don't have the spreadsheet in front of me.
Well, I think I had him at 12.
Well, you weren't the low guy, neither was I. So
yeah,
that's.
I
think
I probably had him around 20.
Yeah, Azaria 26. Shout out to Gene again. Gene had him at 18th. That was really bold.
Soothsayer Gene.
I'll tell you what, man. Azaria Thomas is going to be top 5 by the time he leaves Florida State, right? He'll make the top 5 of one of our preseason lists by the time he's gone from Florida State.
Almost assuredly, yes. Yes. If he keeps progressing and staying healthy, yes, he could be. Yeah, he will definitely be top 5.
Yeah. So, we got Pokey at 19, Johnny Wilson at 27. We might have, egg on our face on that, but we've got so much content going on right now. Although, would people rather listen to us talk about what our top 40 should be now or Duquesne? I don't know. You figure that out for yourselves, everybody, but we don't make those decisions.
Right.
All right, we're done then, man. We made it here a long while, over an hour. We'll be doing these every week. So if I'm not mistaken, Corey, we're going to do Wednesday next week as well.
Correct. Because we'll be on the road Thursday, heading to New Orleans.
That's right. Off week the following week, but we'll do a Thursday live show. And then Louisville we'll do Wednesday because, Corey, you'll be on the road to Louisville.
Yeah, correct. Because it's a Friday night game. I'll be driving up Wednesday night. So, right? So we're doing a Thursday one for Louisville or a Wednesday one?
Oh, Wednesday. We're doing Wednesday.
Yeah.
Wednesday, Thursday, Wednesday.
Yeah. That's right. That's right. So Thursday, I got to be driving up to Louisville.
Hit the thumbs up. Subscribe to our website, please. It's just, if you're taking time out of your day looking at us ugly dudes on your phone talk about Florida State, you care about this team, and you probably want to know everything that's going on with it, and you can for $1. Go to warchant.com, sign up. Thanks to Tom and our guy Terry in the back handling things. Shout out to Joe, Rocket City Noel, and Gator Kirk for getting involved in the green room application. Folks, do it on your phone. Access the show on your phone. Tap on it for the post-game show. You'll hop right in. It'll sound nice and clear. If you're on a laptop, plug in some earphones or mute your laptop before you start talking to us, and it should be all good. Warchant Game Day. Pre-game show starts at 2 o'clock, 2 to 4 o'clock. Then the 5 o'clock game starts. Dominic Robinson and I, first half watch through live on YouTube. Second half, Tom Lang and him take over. I'm back. All right, there we go. I don't know where Corey went. I probably screwed him up. It's been a crazy day, everybody. Thank you for hanging around, though. But Steven, thank you to Steven. Thank you to Ed. Thank you to Thomas, Mark Sermons, Eric Angel, Mark Adamczyk, Rob Rathbun, Shane Kirkley, James B, 904 Noel, and all you folks for watching. I'm going to try to be positive for the next 2 days. That's all I'm going to promise you. To the guy whose mood I ruined because I wasn't all in on 9 wins. We'll see how it all goes, though. Stay connected to warchant.com, the ultimate Seminoles sports source. Warchant report following later in the week. Everything you want at warchant.com. Subscribe, thumbs up. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. We appreciate the heck out of y'all. Have a great one, everybody.